So despite so despite how tired we are, we're gonna go ahead and push through.
Pushing on.
Because that's what we do, man.
Mike, push.
That's what we do here
Deep
at The Skinny.
breaths and push.
Don't talk about our sex life on the air, Adam.
Okay, sorry. I'm saying the baby that I'm going to have.
Oh, yeah. How's that working out for you?
Poorly. Here comes the title.
Here comes the title screen.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think we're on the air now.
We're on the air.
For realsies.
For realsies, episode number 3.
Episode number 3.
The real one.
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Is that what we're calling it?
It's set in stone now.
Now we'll have to cross it off the wall.
Can't back out anymore. Hey, how you guys doing? Sorry we didn't have an episode last week. My laptop hates us, I guess.
But we did do the teaser.
Yeah, which
16 lucky people were able to view.
16 lucky people, and you guys who haven't heard it yet, shame on you.
Listen to it. It's very important. People should know which bands need to not be listened to.
It's our
anymore.
magnus opus, and I mean, this is like the greatest thing we'll ever do as people.
I think so.
This is our gift to society. This is Do Not Playlist.
And we have plenty of material for the rest of time.
It'll keep going. So
I know. And eventually it's going to get picked up somewhere. Somebody's going to notice what the hell we're doing.
I mean, we're talking to all the famous people listening to this because we know there are. Chris Hardwick, we know you're listening.
Yeah. And John Oliver from The Bugle.
Yeah.
Him and TJ Miller from Cashing In with TJ Miller.
So hopefully you guys...
And our other podcast favorites.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys got a chance to listen to our special appetizer episode last Thursday.
It was really good, guys. Come on,
you guys.
It was funny. We were using state-of-the-art technology to bring you music and let you know what we think about it and why it needs to die.
Dude, by state-of-the-art technology, do you mean holding a speaker up to the microphone?
It was freaking brilliant the way I did that.
I know, it was awesome.
I ninja'd that.
We did a fantastic job, but we're back to our regular scheduled program now, so we're back to our topic-based show. Let's get back into the feed. All right, so back to the feed this week.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, if you guys are in the Orange County area, you might have heard of this great band, great local punk, metal, hard rock band by the name of Poop. Poop. And I did say that right, P-O-O-P. Poop from Orange County, apparently making headlines for all the wrong reasons, apparently. They
used to be called Stool, but they thought that was too ridiculous.
Yeah, Poop is edgy. I like Poop. But the bassist of the band, but goes by the name of Jacob Bach, is in custody.
Bach, like Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach.
Oh,
no relation, maybe. So I mean, he's in custody for beating to death. To the death. His fellow bandmate and the band's drummer, Stephen Pratt.
That's ridiculous.
That's unnecessary. I mean,
this band does not have a Wikipedia page, so I'm not looking them up. But
I just saw you try to look up poop on Wikipedia.
The first thing that came up was feces, defecation, pooper scoopers.
Make sure your safe search is on when you're looking up poop.
And stern. But we shouldn't be laughing too much because a man did die.
A man did die. I mean, this is a shame. But I mean, Adam, what do you make of this?
I'm wondering if there was any backstory as to what went on. Because
Apparently
I've been in bands. You and I have been in bands.
Yeah, you've been in a lot more bands than I have.
And we've known a lot of people in bands. Mm-hmm. And there's never been I need to kill that guy in my band.
I've gotten close. Twice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Since I was in your band, well, this was like former band members. Band members who left under undisclosed circumstances that we can't talk about anymore.
So one of them starts with the letter J. The other one starts with the letter... Should I say the letter? F?
F?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah. I mean...
But Mike, seriously, like to kill...
No. I mean...
Was it that bad? It was more like to maim.
To maim.
Really.
To smack.
To disfigure.
To amputate.
To amputate certain appendages.
Well,
perhaps.
I mean, it's a shame that people with strong personalities clash with other strong personalities, and they have to feel. I mean, it's not just the bands either, but
this was singer killing drummer.
This
right?
was bassist killing drummer.
Bassist, the two people that should be the most interconnected in a band.
Well, interesting enough, that's the people. Historically speaking, that's the people in bands that nobody cares about.
That's
so
true.
they should band
That's true.
together.
Anybody
man.
know the bass player for Led Zeppelin? I do, but do you? That's a real question.
No, you don't. well.
Or the bass player for Linkin Park?
No.
If you listened last week, you would know these things.
His name is Phoenix, I think. But Adam's been in more bands than I have, and it is hard sometimes to kind of deal with people with strong personalities.
If Adrian and I ever got to a point where we wanted to kill each other, that would be crazy.
That's a shame because Adrian's an awesome guy. Adam's
Both,
an awesome guy, yeah,
and an awesome bye guy.
Bye guy. But what do you have any band horror stories that you want to tell?
Nothing that ever got that bad. Which
I mean,
always
you've never killed anyone.
Of course, but never even had a fight with anyone in a band.
You never gotten so angry at a bandmate in all the bands that you've been in.
I'm trying to think. I've had plenty of bands where the other guys in the band got into fights, and it really is really more just arguments.
It's more superficial stuff.
It was like, you douchebag, you got drunk at that last show, and you made the band look bad. And the guy's like, "Fuck you! It wasn't my fault. I can do what I want. You don't owe me, Dad." I mean, friend of mine who is in this.
I don't have daddy issues. What?
And that in the band I was in with the older guys who were all in their 40s. That's what happened. They got in a big fight, and I just sat there behind my drum kit, oh my god,
staying out of it,
guys. Be cool. You don't want to break up. And the bass player was more, it was more important to him to drink than to be in the band.
Yes, so a lot of people in bands, they have this glamorized version of what it's like to be in a rock and roll band, despite how local and unfamous you are.
Exactly.
So people,
Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I mean, people just have these egos, I guess. And according to the article that I read this off of the OC Weekly, the bassist kind of just said there was an altercation. He didn't want to say what it was about, and it just led to him beating him to death.
There's got to be more to it than that. Was it creative differences? I mean, the drummer
I don't want to write a song like that.
The drummer was banging the bass player's girlfriend.
I'm not going to go there, but
I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. That's the only reason why there would be death involved.
No, there's no reason to kill anyone, but
I'm just saying that it can't get much worse than that.
Yeah, it can't get any much worse than that.
If they were just arguing about song structure, or I didn't want to play that show at insert OC hipster trend place here
at that pizza parlor.
Yeah, exactly. For our band poop.
Well, I mean, one man I'm sure has never had problems to where he wanted to kill a band member is Slash. And
I would hesitate to say that.
But thankfully
it hasn't happened. But with Guns N' Roses, they all wanted to kill each other.
If I were in Guns N' Roses, I'd want to kill someone.
If you were in Guns N' Roses, you'd want to kill someone.
I'd want to kill someone
because
the lead singer of Guns N' Roses is a total douchebag.
Agreed.
Yeah, but there was some news from very important news with Slash this week. Adam, can you walk us through that?
Well, everybody, Slash himself was given his own star on the Walk of
finally happened.
The Walk of Failure? No, Walk of Fame. It was announced this week. Probably not this week, but it was announced at some point that he would get a star. And I don't know how many other hair band guys are getting stars on the Walk of Fame these days.
Not a lot of guitarists.
Maybe not.
Mostly
you think the Tommy Lees.
Mostly lead singers.
Yeah. Does Axl have his own star? Probably not.
I hope not.
But
because they've set in the bar pretty low if Axl Rose has a star.
The ongoing saga of what was / is Guns N' Roses. They got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in April. None of the band showed up. I don't think anybody was involved in it.
I think they had kind of a humble reason not to, because they said if this band is not on the Hall of Fame and or this list of bands, then why should we be in it? In a way, 'cause I thought that was pretty cool.
Wait, explain.
Can't remember what bands were mentioned, but they said, why are you going to induct us when these great bands are not in the Hall of Fame themselves? So I thought there
could have been that. Yes,
I thought that was pretty humble.
A handful of that. From what I heard, Slash said, "I haven't thought of anything related to Guns N' Roses since I left the band back in 1994, 93,
yeah, that's fair.
It was." And Axl, from what I read, he politely declined. He said thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
And just went on with his daily
So that's cool.
Botox injected
Douchebaggery.
Yeah.
Running
from one side of the stage to the other.
Did he have to get his dreads tightened?
He may have had to do that. But, he's still touring with the new band, which is, like, interesting.
Yeah.
Still, now. Like, I cared, again, 10 years ago, but not so much now.
Do you think Saul Hudson should
Saul
Hudson, a.k.a. Slash, do you
Yeah.
think he should have gotten, years before? Do you think it's just the right time?
I think it's just the right time.
Good.
He had a new album coming out.
He has a new album coming out this year, too.
The last album I was not very fond of.
His solo album, you mean?
His solo album, yeah. There was, like... How many? I mean, all the songs were featuring guest vocalists, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he's
listened
not a
to it
vocalist.
once, and I just it was one of those albums I just didn't care to listen to.
I'll never listen to this again.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of the same with Guns N' Roses. You listen to Chinese Democracy once, and then you
and get your free Dr. Pepper. Don't forget that.
I got my free Dr. Pepper. Mine was a diet. So, Charlie Sheen was part of the induction of the thing, and he had a quote. Yes, he said, "quote It's quite fitting that Slash is getting a star on this very street Axl Rose will one day be sleeping on." He said, "This star is going to be stepped on more than the coke we did in the '80s."
People step on coke.
I guess so.
I've never done coke.
Or were they
so I don't
snorting it off the streets in the
Maybe.
80s? I mean, you and I were not there. We didn't live that time, but we've been on Hollywood Boulevard.
We have.
We've been
Beautiful.
to the Whiskey. We've been to
It's quite beautiful
Sunset.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where you're walking down and there's
I mean, you can't read all. You can't read them all.
there's so many that you don't even have never heard of.
Do we know where who he's going to be? Where his star is going to be?
Every article I read did not tell me that.
Yeah, I was looking at it
So.
too. Well, oh well. Well,
He's
congratulations,
there.
Slash.
Good job, Slash.
I think it was
You've
well
made
deserved.
some great music. I don't care for the new stuff,
Yeah,
but
you're a talented man, and you seem like a cool cat.
Slash's Snake Pit back in 2001. That was a really good version.
Yeah.
Slash's Snake Pit from 1996, I didn't care for.
Yeah.
But 2001 version with the whole different band, I saw them live twice, and that was a very good show.
All right.
I must admit.
Awesome. Well, speaking of Hall of Fame, here's a city that would never reach the Hall of Fame. Well, apparently we got.
It's so sad when you put it that way.
Yeah. Well, here's we live in the Southern California area, and so those of you who live in the Inland Empire might be familiar.
Probably
with
have
these
already
names.
heard about this.
Yeah. So I was not that shocked to find out that the city of San Bernardino is looking to seek bankruptcy protection, becoming the third Californian city in less than a month to file for said bankruptcy.
This is more like depressing than funny.
Yeah, it's not funny at all. But,
Okay, remember Mike and I, we both lived in San Bernardino. I lived there for 5 years.
Yeah, how about 5 years?
About 5 years. And we both fled for better areas.
Ran away
I guess.
is a good term.
We sensed a bankruptcy coming. I mean, Mike, I think you lived in a sadder area of
I
San
did.
Bernardino than I did, and I
Yeah.
only lived like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, really, it wasn't. We
was
didn't
pretty
live too far
sad,
away from
but-
each other. But San Bernardino is facing a $45 million budget shortfall and is in danger of not making payroll for all the city workers for the next 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, so if you work for the city,
In California, for all those
get
years,
those
was looking
401ks
at
out.
$40 billion in debt for the state.
California
I don't even know.
itself is the poorest state in the country.
We need to just fall off into the ocean. I
we
think.
need to
Start
break
our
off,
own
break off the border and become an island.
start our own gang of misfits.
If we create, if we like break the border off and become an island, that would increase tourism. I think.
I think so too.
I would like that.
It might just work, and
It
then
could
we
be
have to take
Hawaii,
a
too.
bridge to get to Las Vegas.
I know, and then that would create jobs to to
would.
build the bit.
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
I think we shouldn't let anybody hear this.
No,
Because
pad pending.
Take our idea.
Pad pending.
Pad pending. TM.
Well, so I don't know what to say. I mean,
It's. I'm pretty sure
This is-
our
this is-
cities are just next to come. I mean,
Yeah, no, our cities are
Mentone
next,
was the
yeah.
first one.
Mhm.
Mammoth Lake was the second one,
yeah.
and now San Bernardino.
Bernardino.
And this is all like Southern California. I don't think this is a good idea.
Is
Or
this-
this is a good.
This is. I
thing.
mean, this is just a result of poor budgeting and overspending. And
I guess so. And there's nothing too funny to say about it.
I mean, like
which is sad.
I think all of our leaders in this country have an overspending problem. I mean, it's not a big surprise, really.
It's very true.
Does this mean that the 215 freeway will never get finished now?
Oh my God! Don't ever drive on the 215
Oh,
out to
Jesus.
San Bernardino anymore. Just stay away from San Bernardino altogether.
Yeah, let's go move to like Sacramento or something.
At least they have 2-lane highways up there.
Yeah.
That never have traffic.
Well, that's pretty much it for the
That's
feed
pretty
this
much
week.
all we got to say.
Yeah.
We can't change it. So.
We can't change it. No, and if you work for the city, Adam doesn't work for the city anymore.
I don't work for the state anymore.
Oh, the state. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you're not.
I never worked for the state.
You're not a government employee anymore. Well, if
No,
you
I
do
work for a
happen to work,
corporation.
yeah, if you
Corporations
do-
are people too.
according to the Republicans. So, I mean, I'm sorry to hear. I mean, I think I know a couple people. Who
I mean,
work
we
for the
knew it was
government.
coming. I mean, look at how
Yeah.
crappy San Bernardino is. It's like
Yeah.
the city isn't bankrupt. You know, in 2006 when we lived there, it was around the corner.
Yeah. So,
I blame the people.
sorry for anybody who's affected by
Just
this. We wish you luck. Get out your 401ks.
They don't have 401ks
No,
there.
you don't. I mean, I hope you have
the unemployment
savings.
rate is like 15-20%. Who knows?
Oh boy. Yeah,
These
this
are the
is-
people that I talk to. On a
These are
daily
just
basis.
bad times for California, and hopefully it's gonna look better in the future. But
I
crossing
think
our fingers, maybe.
It might. You never know.
Maybe we can learn from San Bernardino's example and not fall down that way. Because I
That's
think
very
Riverside's
true.
next.
Riverside's probably next, if not Colton, Grand Terrace.
It's. I mean, which
Rialto.
Rialto's next too.
Rialto's going to fall into the ocean
Well,
first.
I mean, ever since Rodney King's tragic death, I mean, I think the tourism up there is.
now that Rodney's dead, yeah.
And I think because of our suggestion for his porn habits.
That didn't help the city
No.
look good, and with Rialto being near San Bernardino, I think single-handedly our podcast brought down San Bernardino.
Sorry, San Bernardino, that was our fault. Well, for now, we're going to go ahead and transition to something that we were going to talk about in episode 3, part 1, which never got aired.
3.1.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead, and today we're going to have a special On the Plate. All right, so like I said, on the plate today. Last week we were supposed to have an episode out. We had a full thing, and we were talking about Happy Birthday America. We had we talked about shit.
Oh my God! There was a sock in our utility sink.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. My wife just walked in front of the window that we're podcasting from. The plumber is here. She just pulled an old dirty sock out of our utility sink.
Don't leave. Let this be a lesson to you guys. Don't leave socks in your utility.
How
sinks.
did that end up in there?
drive
You
by sock cloggers? I don't know.
Now, the real question is, was it one of our socks, or is it a sock from 1978?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And
Maybe it's a
wow.
mystery we should discuss.
Because we do our laundry right there, and
Yeah.
the sock could have easily fallen down, but I think we would have noticed it
by now, yeah.
by now. Yeah, we
Eh.
would have noticed the sock before it got stuffed down the drain.
Well, anyway, we had a lot to talk about last week. Jimmy Morrison's birthday.
Yes.
Or no, not his birthday. The anniversary of.
Mike made the 41-year-old joke of saying he broke on through to the other side.
I did because it's really funny.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So we had a lot to talk about. One of the things that Adam brought up this was actually his sound off, but it went pretty long. But I'm gonna let Adam talk about it.
Okay, so in episode 1, we brought up the fact that it was National Redhead Appreciation Day on June
That's right.
21st, which is now a little bit dated. Sorry, just thinking about that sock. But June 21st was National... And so my wife told me that I named somebody that was not an official redhead, and I had no idea.
Just a bunch of box redheads, right?
Yeah, a bunch of box redheads. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to make myself a list of all my favorite redheads, and I assume that they're all natural redheads, but, I'm not totally positive who is, who isn't. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing that I understand why so many women want it.
And if we are if Adam is incorrect, please comment below and let him know how wrong he is.
Please do, because all I want is feedback from you. So anyway.
Nobody listens to this show. Who cares?
Please, somebody listen.
But you had some
All right.
because this is a top 9, right?
The top 9, yes.
Why is
but
it a top 9?
Because the man wouldn't give me 10. All right, the man, whatever. Okay, so first off, I had to do some honorable mentions. and ones who I know are not real redheads,
Okay.
nonetheless. First,
Do you have
So,
real redheads on the
They're
honorable mention?
as far as I know, they are. I don't know.
Okay.
For
Why are they
certain-
honorable mentions and not in top 9?
Because I just put the other 9 on there because
You
they
don't wanna
meant more to me in the
Okay.
grand scheme of my my stuff.
Your lust.
My lust, yes.
Or you just didn't want to mix up your list anymore.
Correct. I couldn't do like 15 because that would just be too many.
Yeah. Well, you got a whole on the plate to yourself, so.
All right. So, okay, honorable mention number 1, I put down Julianne Moore because, she's
Is she
just
a real
attractive.
redhead? Who
As far as
knows?
I know, she's not.
Which is why she's on the honorable
Because
mention.
my wife told me she wasn't. But you got to remember,
It's
she
really
was
shocking to know that to think that she's not a real redhead.
because she's a redhead all the time, and she's got that pale skin.
And
that
she's got
looks
red
good.
eyebrows.
Yeah, and then she was in that Game Change movie about Sarah Palin. She looked really good as Sarah
Yeah.
Palin.
I saw Julianne
it.
Moore have sex with Amanda Seyfried once.
I would like to see that.
It was more
I saw her have
awkward.
sex with Mark Ruffalo on The Kids Are All Right, and I
Yeah.
didn't care for that at all.
Wait, but she was a lesbian in that movie, right?
Or was she?
What a twist!
Spoiler alert! I should have said
Aw.
that first. That's why the movie was not very good.
That movie's like 2 years old. Who cares?
Yeah, it's long since passed, but I don't agree with it. But anyway, I put her on there. A new addition to my list was the chick from True Blood, who I just now found out her name is Deborah Ann Woll.
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 She plays
She
Jessica,
plays
right?
Jessica.
Yeah.
And that's
She
Mike.
is
Mike will use this line on his
fine.
wife, that they use towards Jessica, like "I command you as your maker."
As your maker, you
Mike
are
uses that on
mine.
his wife from time to time, and I think it's hot. So I think she's pretty damn hot too.
Oh man.
And she's getting hotter as that True
I
Blood
know,
thing is
really,
going
yeah.
on. I know she's not supposed to be aging on the show, but
Well,
she's
I mean,
aging
like,
in
the
real
thing
life
is, like,
very
she's-
nicely.
It's like as a vampire, I think she's embracing her
Oh, my
sexual
God.
her sexual nature.
She
too.
really, really is, and
Good.
it's moving in
And
the right
she's like
direction.
forever a virgin, right? Because she
Yeah.
became a vampire
But
as a
they've-
virgin,
they've-
so her
they've-
hymen keeps growing back, right?
It grew back. That was the saddest part of her
Oh,
whole
I mean, I felt so bad for
transition.
her.
I know, but she's still like doing it with everybody and doesn't seem to mind anymore. So
Yeah, whatever.
whatever works. Okay, so I added her on there. Next, Amy Adams, another honorable mention.
Which is weird that she's an honorable mention, not on the list, because you talk
She's-
about her so
I
much.
do. I think that she's really, really attractive.
And
But I found
talented.
out she's also not a real redhead. No.
No.
And I first learned about her from The Office, season 1,
Mhm.
when she played the new hot girl, and she was selling
The new and
purses.
improved Pam.
Yeah, that's what Michael Scott called her, was the new and improved Pam, which I take offense to now.
Pam is awesome.
Pam is awesome, yeah. So
Amy
anyway, that
Adams
was the
is
first-
also really versatile as an actress. I mean, she.
Well, her next project after that was the Enchanted movie.
Yeah.
Where, as Mike and I
She was a
have
Disney
discussed
princess.
in the past, she embodied the Disney princess thing. And
The
I know that
lustful
brain
Disney
that
princess.
movie was for kids. Granted, my brain took it to a whole other level, if you know
I'm
what
shocked
I mean.
that you watched it.
Well, it was on USA or something like that one
Why
night,
not, right?
and I'd never seen it before, and it was 5 years after it came out or whatever.
Are you willing to watch Man of Steel? Because she's going to be Lois Lane in that movie.
Probably, I would enjoy that.
just simply on that, because you don't like action movies. Granted, audience.
Well,
this
yeah,
is
and
the
I
man
don't
who doesn't
even
like
want
the
to
Dark
see
Knight.
the Dark Knight Rises, even
'Cause you
though
didn't even like
things
The
would be
Dark Knight.
rising, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean, from my Anne
For
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Not a redhead. Okay.
Anne Hathaway,
nope,
Catwoman.
she's
Ah!
for another day. Different brunette list. Anyway, back to the Reds. Christina Hendricks, next honorable mention. Why?
Good golly.
Because she's not
Because
a real
she has
redhead.
a really big pair of personalities.
She's got a giant pair of personalities, and they just keep getting bigger. Like she's putting
gonna-
on weight, but in all the right places.
She's going to explode,
I
dude.
know, and she's got the eyes.
Oh, she has really good eyes. Yeah, I love her eyes.
Yeah, so she's extremely. But again, Mad Men, like I can't sit through watching an episode anymore.
What, has she been in the movies lately?
Not that I know of. I didn't IMDb
She's
her.
just kind of Mad Men, and that's all people
I
know
think
her
so,
from.
but she's just really, really. I think it's working.
She
for
has
her.
a presence.
She has a presence, mostly in her shirt.
That's where her bra holds her heart.
So, my other honorable mention was Angie Everhart, and this is going back to my high school days with my Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues from 1996.
Oh, it's adorable.
Now, those of you may not know, being younger, but she was definitely embodied the hot redhead. I forgot to add the MythBusters chick onto this list.
Carrie Byron. She would definitely be.
Angie Everhart looks like a Carrie Byron mixed in with a little bit of 90s.
See, just for
grunge.
my hot redhead list, Carrie Byron from the MythBusters would
She's
probably
definitely
be
on there.
Hot part 3, dude. Like the top 3.
So I would put her in as an honorable mention as well, because she's just delicious in all the right ways.
And she's smart, and she's funny, and she's.
And so I've told
talented.
Mike that I can't even watch MythBusters because I don't even pay attention to what's going on when she's on there.
You have MythBusters on mute.
I do sometimes, and I pause.
Keep up the good work, Carrie Byron, because I know you're watching.
I pause it sometimes. So Angie Everhart, I saw her in real life when I went to a taping of a sitcom for Caroline in the City back in the mid-'90s, and she was on that episode, and I yelled out in my haste, "I love you, Angie!" And she blew me a kiss right back, and it was the most greatest moment of my
keep that kiss ever
18-year-old life, or however old I was. I still have it.
You have it in a box.
It's in my wallet. Don't tell my wife.
So on to the list, right?
On to my list. Okay, number 9, the top 9. Seth Green.
Seth Green!
Seth Green! Woo!
Seth Green, of course.
From Robot Chicken fame. Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, of course.
Family Guy, of course. I think that
Without a Paddle.
Without a Paddle, of course. I forgot about that one. I just think
Oscar-nominated Without a Paddle.
Raspberry nominated more.
Yeah, really.
So I put him on there. I think he's a good-looking man. I like my men a little scrawny. A little skinny.
That's why he likes me so much.
Yeah, exactly. So I put him on there because I think he's a very funny guy. He's a nerdy guy. He knows a lot more about nerd stuff than
I do too,
or Mike might
combined
as well. Yeah. So if I had to pick a redhead to bang, that was a dude. For now,
I think that's a good choice.
I think it would work because
Yeah.
he's everything.
He's forever awesome. Keep up the good work, Seth Green.
If they ever made Austin Powers 4. Because as Scotty was turning into evil,
the way Hollywood is, I wouldn't be surprised that
you never know
that's on the table.
Mike Myers may be struggling.
Nothing is
days.
sacred. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, number 8. Mike's gonna agree with me on this one. Oh, going back to Disney princesses. Ariel.
Oh, under the sea.
Under the sea.
Okay. Under the sea.
Okay, we don't need to sing the whole thing. Okay, so.
Keeping it. I mean, this is
Little Mermaid came out in 1990.
89.
Wow,
89.
Dang. Okay, so I was technically only 8 or 9 years old when that came out.
No,
and
you were 8 or 9. Yeah.
I was definitely 8 or 9 years old. So there was
3.
I didn't really think anything of it until I got older, and I was like,
she help through your puberty?
She helped me slightly. Yes, I would have to agree with that. Ariel helped me through my puberty a little bit, but my parents did not agree with the Little Mermaid premise
for feminist reasons.
For feminist reasons, because they didn't like that.
Okay, to be fair to all the feminists out there who don't like Ariel, she wanted to be human before she met Eric, and it wasn't her who came up with the idea. It was Ursula. Ursula was tricking her into doing it. So hey,
my
feminists, leave Ariel alone.
My parents didn't like that her dad had too much control over her, which I never quite understand because she was like 16.
She was 16 and. Well, King Triton was pretty overbearing, I think.
Maybe, but he destroyed all of her stuff, all of her human stuff.
He was being a dick about it.
She was so sad, and there's just the eyes.
I know
they made her stupid eyes,
doggy eyes.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I didn't realize it at the time, but as I got older, I was like, This is just a sad story, and I need to turn this off.
You need to hug her. Oh! Speaking of mermaids, by the way.
Yes.
I think I posed this question to you last week. If you were stranded on a desert island and a mermaid were to appear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So for sexual reasons, this mermaid came up to you specifically to say, "Adam, you're the last man on this island. I need you to make love to me." Would you prefer that mermaid be a human half
Did the
on
mermaid
the top?
speak English?
Yes, and
okay. It's an English mermaid. Okay, got it.
Yeah, coincidentally, it spoke English.
Female?
Female, yes.
Female. So
female or
with a British accent, if it spoke English, or American accent, or Australian. Where we
wherever region this desert island was stranded on. So, would you prefer that mermaid to have a human part on top, fish part on bottom, or fish part on top, lady parts on the bottom?
They totally did this sketch on SNL with Reese Witherspoon playing Ariel and Will Ferrell playing the human. But yes, I thought about it long and hard. I would much rather go with human top half. Good and choice. I would take my chances with fish genitalia.
Because in order to mate with the fish, the fish would have to leave her eggs there, and then she'd leave, and then you fertilize them.
But I get to look at her while I fertilize them, right?
You want to watch a female mermaid lay eggs?
No, I want her to lay the eggs and then stay there while I fertilize them.
Well, granted, I mean, like, you don't necessarily need a vagina to have
and
sex.
just say like sexy things to me, like, "Oh yeah, baby, oh yeah, baby."
Well, I mean, she has
oh,
hands.
You like it when I touch your eggs like this, don't you? Like, you like that? Does that feel
good? You like when I fertilize those eggs and then I bury them in the sand, huh? You like that, huh, Ariel?
I'm going to make you bury them in the sand, and I'm just going to watch.
This is getting morbid.
I'm just saying. I like the hair. I like the face of a woman. So yes. Those are important
You're
parts.
You're a boob man, aren't you? Are you more of a boob man? Or
I'm more of a face and hair man.
Okay.
And boobs are just kind of like the icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake.
And everything else, the butt, the legs, and the flat stomach.
Yeah.
You know, like those sort of delicious women parts.
Keep up the good work, women.
And, you know, when you got the head and the eyes and mixed with the hair, you know.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I'm just saying.
I'm definitely
everybody go back
guy.
and watch some Little Mermaid, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
I have to watch Little Mermaid a lot because I have a little 4-year-old daughter who loves Disney princesses.
Yeah, it must be tough for you, Mike.
Yeah, it is tough to keep those, keep it family friendly.
So I'll fertilize those eggs and maybe grab a little seashell boob on top of it. Well, that's the thing. Does she have like a bikini top? Is it a seashell top?
I'm thinking practically, if this mermaid were to have a human part on top, she wouldn't have any need for a seashell boob.
So it would just be boobs are out.
Yeah,
they're out in the open. Okay,
I mean, yeah,
I like it.
She meanders
but I would want to take my chances with fish genitalia and just see how it goes. She's under the water all the time. You know it's already moist.
Oh no, Adam!
It might feel okay. You never know.
I've never seen a fish vagina.
Neither have I, but I'd just be willing to try.
I think we have to wiki that.
And fish anal? You can do fish oral. You can do fish handies.
I mean, with the human heart. I was trying to say that earlier. Like with the fish heart on top, you've got hand job. You've got.
But then she's not getting on her knees though. She's getting on her fin.
She can like lay to her side. I don't know.
She could lay to her side, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. You can make it work, or both of you can. You can lay in. You can float in the water while she. Because she can breathe underwater.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, it's like so. There's so many possibilities with mermaid.
But then
sex.
again, I want to see the eyes. I'm just saying. Seeing the eyes.
She can come up, man. It's cool.
Seeing the eyes while they're
because if you were on a deserted island, the water would be really clear, so you could see what's going on down there.
And the hair would just be flowing,
dude.
Like again, you got to see Hook, Mike. You got to see Hook. There's mermaids in Hook.
Nice.
Red-headed mermaids.
Those aren't on the list, though.
Okay, sorry.
So speaking of the list.
Okay, we're going to move on here.
We're getting morbid now.
Here.
If you haven't already turned off the show, we're moving on.
Okay, the next one, now we're going old school. Susan Sarandon.
Ooh, nice.
I have to say, like, she wasn't one of the chicks that I have found that hot in her later years.
Uh-huh.
But...
she's good looking for her age.
I watched a A&E biography on Rocky, and they mentioned that they wanted Susan Sarandon for Adrian. Like, she was their first choice back in the day, because she was like the up-and-coming it girl at the time. I had no idea she was so fucking hot back in the 70s. Can you imagine that? Susan Sarandon as Adrian. Yeah. I think they chose well with Talia Shire. Yeah. But still, they showed... like Susan Sarandon pictures from the 70s, and I was like, it was like mermaid time.
Very, very attractive.
And then I was just like, oh, I get it. And then you see how she's aged pretty well over the last nearly 40 years.
Really well, actually.
And I was just like, okay, she's got to make the list. She's had the red hair for the whole time. First time I saw her was in Bull Durham.
A veteran redhead too.
And maybe the first time I saw her was in Thelma and Louise.
Mm-hmm.
And that
So
one
good
I
in
was
that movie.
I was more focused on Gina Davis. I thought she was more attractive back in those
Yeah.
days. But then that movie really messed with my brain, being R-rated and being 11. I had never seen a rape scene before.
Oh, I know, yeah.
It was a little disturbing to me, and
Well, there's some Brad Pitt in there too.
there was some Brad Pitt. He looked pretty good with that hair dryer in his pants.
Yeah. That's because that's where guys
So-
keep their hair dryers in their
They
pants.
do when they're showing how to rob a bank. But anyway, Susan Sarandon, live long and prosper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what Tim Robbins was thinking, leaving you after all those years. Screw that.
Maybe she's crazy.
Sounds
Or maybe
good to me.
maybe Tim Robbins is crazy.
He
Tim
might be a
Meadows.
little bit. Sorry, Tim Meadows, a whole different guy. Okay, so that was number 7. Number 6, the one, the only, Conan O'Brien. Because if I was going to add Seth Green, you got to maybe add another guy.
Conan,
but Conan
I
has
love
been
Conan.
part of my life now since DVR became a possibility, and I could watch his show because usually it's on way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
I first saw him on late night when it came to Comedy Central.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw him too, and
Yes.
I wasn't even aware that there was a show
And
after
the
the Tonight
masturbating
Show.
bear and the Triumph the
Triumph,
insult comic.
yeah.
I was like, this dude is really funny. I saw him on the Tonight Show. I liked watching
I
the
love
Tonight
the
Show.
Tonight Show,
It
yeah.
was great in my opinion. I
Way
don't know
better
why-
than Jay Leno's.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry, baby boomers, but Jay Leno's got to
If
go.
you like Jay Leno, you're probably not listening to this anyway.
no,
but
so yeah, just hey guys, what's happening?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
man, everyone writes my jokes for me, and I give poor delivery.
yeah. What? I don't know who watches Jay Leno, who ever liked Jay Leno, except maybe
Old people.
My wife's parents. That's the only one I can think of. But whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, Conan has become part of my life now. I watch him all the time. I would probably do him.
He's a comedic genius, man.
I would agree, and I
Yeah.
would do him. I probably would.
I would too. Just
It would be okay just to say I did.
just to say I did.
Like,
yeah.
Mike, I totally banged Conan last night.
Like, no, you didn't.
But I did.
What?
And it was incredible.
You lucky
and
bastard.
Then he held me afterwards, and I just
He does-
caressed his mane.
He does look like a cuddler.
He
that Conan.
does. He does. And it wasn't. He didn't cry. It was just. It was more
Aw.
about the cuddling. And Andy watched.
Is Andy a redhead?
I don't think so. I think
No?
he's a brunette.
Okay.
And
He
it
looks
just
like a
it just
redhead.
helped
He looks
me.
kind of that pale skin.
It helped me
redhead.
that he was moving me along, saying, "Yes, you're doing the right thing here. You're doing the right thing. You're not a gay man, but you're doing the right thing."
No, you're not attracted to
For
a gender.
America.
You're attracted to a man.
I am. Yeah.
See,
I'm
that makes
attracted.
sense, right?
I'm attracted to a person.
A person. Yeah, you're
A
person.
red-headed person.
Yeah.
So
It's not so much a gender thing.
It was beautiful.
I would totally have
I
sex
wish
with,
I wish
and
you all
cuddle
were.
with Conan.
Yeah, and I wish you all were there with me.
What's your favorite Conan show? Conan, The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien, or Late Night with Conan O'Brien?
I think I have to go old school on this one.
Yeah, because we're hipsters. Like that.
Yeah, with Triumph and Masturbating Bear.
Oh, yeah.
and
And they could get away with it. And Max Weinberg.
Max
Yeah.
Weinberg and the Max Weinberg 7.
And they could get away with a lot more because of the late night hour they were at.
And being at 30 Rock, there was always like the random Saturday Night Live cast member that was there. Will Ferrell, they were showing his thing when Will Ferrell dressed
now
up as a
Will
leprechaun.
Forte shows up every
As
now and
Ted
then.
Turner.
As
yes.
Ted Turner, yeah.
And he's like, "Shut up, you hippies!" And he's writing Teddy Jr.
Teddy Jr. the stuffed bull.
I'm just saying, it's grown on me over time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure. So Conan O'Brien,
We love you
I'll
so
be coming
much.
for you someday.
Yeah,
if you know
Dude,
what I
we
mean.
gotta go to a show.
We really should.
Yeah.
But we work. That's the problem.
We have to take a day off and really go see Conan.
I think so.
We're coming for you, Conan. Just so you
The
know.
rest of them are women. Just so you know.
Unfortunately.
Okay, so number 5, we're going a
real
little
women?
old school.
Real women, not animated women.
We're going with real.
Okay.
Human women with boobs and
Real boobies.
Yeah,
We love
non-fish
boobs.
genitalia.
We don't have to have the discussion of whether or not they should be half fish on the bottom or not.
Okay, so number 5, again, I'm going a little old school on this one because currently she's not doing so hot. but Lindsay Lohan.
Which is a shame because she's my age.
She's your age. She hit it big at 12, and she just kind of went off the deep end.
And she hit it big again at like
age
19,
whenever Mean Girls came out. That one was what first opened my eyes. I was like, oh my god,
that was her peak. Unfortunately, I mean, like it's
unfortunately.
sad for like young Hollywood that their peak is so young.
And I like her as just like a suburban chick. She doesn't need to do anything more than that. Just like a teenage girl.
Like she was supposed to be playing the famous porn star Lisa Lovelace.
Yes, the one from Deep Throat.
Yeah, Deep Throat. Yeah.
So good luck with that, and I might. See
I'm
it.
sure
I don't know.
I'm sure that will give you respect in
Is
the
she
world
gonna
of
get
Hollywood.
naked? Is she gonna do
At
full
this
frontal?
point, I mean,
We've all
already
seen it.
We've
It's
all
all
seen
on the
it,
internet.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Was she thought she was Marilyn Monroe?
Her vagina looks kind of weird, but
Yeah. And there was that photo shoot where
speaking
she.
of fish genitalia.
Aw. This is real life fish genitalia.
Oh my god!
But I mean, there was also that photo shoot she did where she thought she was Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn
sorry.
Manson, indeed.
Marilyn Manson. More Marilyn Manson.
And I
than
didn't
Monroe.
see the Playboy ones. I had no interest. I looked for them online, but I couldn't find them.
There's nothing special about
No,
him.
I didn't think so. Most Playboy stuff is.
That was just more
As
of her
Peter
like.
Griffin said, like when he finally saw Cindy Crawford naked, he's like, "Yeah, she's naked, but
Who
who
gives
gives
a
a
fuck?"
crap?" So anyway, Lindsay Lohan, 2003, circa.
Yeah.
She's incredible back then.
She had like one good movie.
I guess so. And Tina Fey wrote it.
I'm not gonna count The Parent Trap because I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
a family movie.
Well, she was cute and then just kind of went off the deep end.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
like I think Mean Girls was her peak.
So maybe I should have put her in the honorable mention category.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I agree with you that 2003 Lindsay Lohan, like, everyone got
But
up for her,
She's getting into that share.
and she kind of like brought the redhead revolution in Hollywood, right?
Yes. After that, like redheads just became popular again, and I think that's why I've just had a boner since 2003. It hasn't gone
A
down.
constant one.
Every time I turn the TV on, it's like doing.
Redhead, boing.
So anyway, thank you, Lindsay Lohan, for helping me. Through
Now you should just
my early
gracefully
20s.
go away. We don't need
The
you
weird
anymore.
thing is that if you look at pictures of young Lindsay Lohan and you look at pictures of young my wife,
yeah.
it's very similar.
Oh, really?
It's a little kind of creepy the way it worked out.
You mean like Parent Trap, Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, like
Oh,
12-year-old Lindsay Lohan and 12-year-old Dawn. It's like, yeah, and then they kind of like when Dawn and I were first together was when Lindsay Lohan was doing Mean Girls, and I used to say like, "You look like Lindsay Lohan," and she would say, "Fuck you, I hate you. Why are you touching me?" And
Get off me, perv.
yeah, exactly. And then I'd cry alone in the dark.
But
But anyway, it's been sad to watch her deteriorate.
I know.
But moving on into more old redhead.
Moral of the story is drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Good.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do
Lindsay Lohan.
drugs.
Get
Drugs are
sober.
bad.
Get clean. So Nicole Kidman is my number 4.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm surprised that I put her at number 4 in hindsight.
And
but
we all know Nicole Kidman from the world famous Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. She did look really good in that movie.
She did.
You
I think she was like
lie.
one of the only good parts of that movie.
I think so. Yeah. And after that,
all she wanted to do was bone
Practical
Batman.
Magic. Have you ever seen that movie
I
with
don't
her
think I have.
and Sandra Bullock? It's from about 1998.
I don't think I have. No.
If it's always on ABC Family. It's they play witches and Nicole Kidman just epitomed. Is that a word? Like she was witchy and kind of goth.
Yeah.
And with the straight red hair, and she wore tank tops.
I think
throughout
the
whole
skin
thing.
tone.
And she was, and she was just incredible in that movie. I think that's where I first like kind of had a massive redheaded boner for her.
Well, Tom Cruise also had a massive redheaded boner with her too.
He did, and yeah. Anyway,
Run, Katie Holmes, run,
run!
Save
yourself!
Thank goodness you've gone. Did you hear about like Katie after Katie Holmes and like it started the divorce proceedings for Tom Cruise? She sent out like this thing about like this rant about Scientology and how it was dangerous.
I heard
and,
something about this.
Yeah, she said this is, I'm not going to do it verbatim because I don't have it in front of me, but she said the Church of Scientology brainwashes you and it steals your money. So thank goodness I'm back safe with the Catholic Church.
Oh, yes. Speaking of brainwashing and stealing your money.
But anyway, back to the
But it has
If
fewer celebrities? Is that what it is?
I think there's more Catholic celebrities than there are.
Scientology.
Yeah, all the
celebrities
famous,
aren't in your face about it.
yeah, all the famous Scientologists are. Is batshit crazy a good term?
I would say yes.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you, L. Ron Hubbard, for...
Did you know that Katie Holmes didn't want to do The Dark Knight because the themes in that movie contradicted her Scientology beliefs? Because she just got into Scientology after she started filming Batman Begins.
Wow. And that's why it was such a subpar performance.
Exactly, right?
And Adam fell asleep during it. Who was it in that one, the Scarecrow? Who played him?
In Batman Begins?
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy. Another person who plays in like every single Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh. I thought it was somebody that I had heard of. Anyway.
Back to Nicole Kidman.
Back to Redheads. Yeah. Yeah, Practical Magic. If you ever just get a chance. She and Sandra Bullock looks really good in that movie. It's a family movie.
Family
it's like
witch movie?
They're Sandra Bullock and her are witches and they have kids and it's like a whole generational like it's our family tradition that we're witches.
I think I've seen that movie a million times but with different actors.
I don't know anything else about the structure of it, but Nicole Kidman wears a tank top through most of it. And she looks.
She should.
Yeah,
she's got the looks.
And it was like late '90s.
Yeah,
Nicole Kidman. So
I'll look it up.
It worked.
Maybe my daughter would like to see.
I think she would. She definitely would. And just hide your boner.
Pillow on the lap.
Next one, number 3. We're getting into the good ones here.
Uh-oh.
This one,
top 3.
I should have known from shows in the '90s, but I learned about her more from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
and that would be
I think I know what's
Allison
coming.
Hannigan.
Oh,
she was in Buffy. She was in the American Pie saga,
and she has sex with instruments too.
And she did it with her flute. And I think she won me over with that line. Granted, but I think still she won
she won America over with that line.
But she looked, she
was kind of
look
frumpy.
She was mousy.
Yeah, mousy and frumpy.
She was band nerd mousy.
Band nerd, yeah.
By the time American Wedding came around, I was like...
She had blossomed.
How is that the same person? I had no idea. So I think it was the hair. It was
I think to be fair, like American
20s.
Wedding does take place in the American Pie saga, like 8 years later.
Well, is it about
like
that long?
Six.
The first one came out in '98. The second one came out in
like immediately,
2005.
Like 2000. No.
No, the second one was like 01
2000. Yeah,
2000. The third one I meant was in 05.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
so
enough time had passed.
Then, yeah.
She was in her late 20s, which late 20s, early 30s is just the hottest time for any woman, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect age. And I think as I get older, that I'm going to keep on pushing that. Whatever age group I fall into. Like mid-30s is the hottest. No, early 40s is the hottest.
Dude,
no, 50s.
No, dude, late 50s. That's
you
where
know
it's
what's
at.
hot? Late 80s. That's when Mike and I are podcasting from the retirement home. Like, dude, she totally has red hair.
I fucking love moo-moos.
So, and then she got on to How I Met Your Mother, which I didn't really start watching until about a year ago. And she just got hotter and hotter as that show went on. And then, unfortunately, she got pregnanter.
Unfortunately.
She was pregnant twice on that show, I think.
Hey, man,
and then
a lot of women look great pregnant.
And then her character finally got pregnant in this last episode. So it's
they didn't have to hide it anymore.
I haven't seen her real body in a while now. So it's just like, okay, whatever. She's still... definitely my top 3.
She's still banging.
And I can't say anything when I'm watching the show because my wife takes offense to it. Because I'll be like, ah, blah, blah, or ooh, or, any number of those kind of male grunty noises.
Of
and, it's just, she's hot. So, anyway, moving on. Number 2.
We're getting close.
Due to my office fetish, Jenna Fisher.
Oh, yay!
I love Jenna Fisher so much.
She beat Amy Adams, man.
Oh,
in this list.
She beat Amy Adams, and I beat lots of things. Never mind. So, I've grown with Jenna Fisher. She's a little bit older than me. Mm-hmm. She's probably in her late 30s now. I'm
by now.
Yeah. And so, like, early
children,
years of The Office, definitely hotter than current years of The Office, but I would still... And, as her character had to get pregnant on the show, it just took away a lot.
I have a question, because I think... I like The Office as well. I think you're a bigger fan of The Office than I am. Pam?
Yes.
Or... Who's that other?
Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper.
Current secretary.
Current secretary, yeah.
And that one I struggle with because Ellie Kemper is in my age demographic.
Mhm.
She is my age. And I think she's really hot and cute and everything. And Jenna Fisher
Not as bright as her. Her character-wise, she's not as bright. Yeah.
Right. And I think, well... I'm basing it solely on the character, but I do think
she
Jenna
was also.
Fisher,
Have you seen the movie Bridesmaids?
yes,
She was in that movie as well, but she's played the same character.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And she's funny as hell in real life. Too.
Yeah, she
if
is.
you ever hear anything she's on, Nerdist wise, but Jenna Fisher I still think is hotter because
Okay.
of the eyes. The
She
eyes
does have
pop
really nice
a lot
eyes, yeah.
more. And early Office, she was the hottest.
If The Office has taught us anything, it's how to get out of the friend zone.
Go Jim.
Yay!
Because I was telling Mike, like, I watched that show, I had no idea that Pam was ever interested in Jim.
Dude, I was aware from
Sorry, we're going
right
to geek
away.
out on The Office real quick.
Yeah.
But,
Dude, away, dude. I mean, how
and-
do you not know that?
I had no idea because I would see the way Jim was, and I think I identified more with Jim.
Yeah, it's
during
obvious
that
for
time.
Jim because I mean, he's like he gets
Yeah,
close and
because
he kind of makes
and
passing
she's hot,
remarks.
and if
Yeah.
you're gonna have a hot girl anywhere, the guy is gonna be any guy is gonna be interested in her. So I was just
Just a fact, right?
It just epitomed everything I went through working in offices with hot chicks for
Mhm.
all those years, like and.
So you put yourself
Like,
in his shoes.
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of his characteristics are similar to mine in any way, but he's who I identified with the most. So
He's like the everyman, I
and
think,
and working with somebody who's hot, who's also like engaged / married / you never have a chance with them
Friend-zoned?
in the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
And, like I understood that hell
Oh.
so much as just a human, and it was just like, oh god.
Just that human level
Oh,
despair that you can never crawl you
just
out of it.
Thinking back as so much pain. I wrote so much poetry about this.
Friend zone is
So
is
gay.
a horrible thing. I mean, like, I don't know who to blame either because I mean, you can't blame the friend zonee because I mean,
No.
you gotta if you're interested in the beginning, you should make your intentions clear.
And you got to remember the way that Pam acts towards Jim is
Yeah.
the way all of these girls acted towards me
No!
during those office days.
Which
so I'm just like, she doesn't like him. She's engaged.
no.
Sure, he's a douchebag.
Which is why you never
but
caught it.
And so now in hindsight, I'm like, wait, is Office mimicking real life though?
It does a
Or-
good job of mimicking real life. I think so.
I would like to believe that because
There's caricatures. I mean, like there's characters in there.
I had some good chemistry with these girls back in the days.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of them didn't hold any of the same ideals or beliefs as me. Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
And so they all moved on. They're out of my life for good now.
Mhm.
And I was unable to ever get any further with them. So, okay, so The Office showed
Yeah,
me
so-
that, okay, all those girls in the past probably wanted to bang me.
Yes.
Yes.
Brofist.
Boom! Shake and bake. Ow, that really hurt.
Ow. Ow, we're so
Ow.
weak. All right, so
Okay, number two. Oh, sorry, that was
number
number one.
one.
Mrs. Sacha Baron Cohen herself, Isla Fisher.
Woo!
Oh my God! Yay!
I always I confused her with Amy Adams a
Now,
lot,
now tell me where you first heard about Isla Fisher.
which is weird because I thought Amy Adams was Isla Fisher.
For a long time, yeah,
I did.
they-
And
they-
it was you actually corrected me.
I know.
Like,
And
oh wow,
I-
Amy Adams is great.
I
in
thought Amy
Confessions
Adams
of a
was in
Hop-
Wedding Crashers,
Yeah,
but it turned
exactly.
out.
I thought it was Isla Fisher in Enchanted.
Ooh,
Because that didn't really look. That didn't really.
I would
look
have enjoyed
like-
that.
That didn't really look like Amy Adams to me until.
Right. It's the eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
Isla's got the brown eyes. Amy's got the blue eyes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not too familiar with.
Welcome back.
I'm not too familiar with Isla Fisher's acting.
We all first heard about her in Wedding Crashers,
Yeah.
I think. And then
I
she went on to
find
be
you.
in, yeah. And she epitomed everything incredible about just like that crazy hot redhead who like eventually became like the heart of gold.
If she was as a crazy stalker for you, would you turn her down?
No. I would never have. That character.
Crazy, even though she's crazy.
Even though, because she ended up
Crazy
not
and
being
needy.
that crazy
She's
towards
really
the end.
needy.
Towards the end, I was like, no, this is like everything about that character. Like, I know I was married at the time when that character came out.
Sasha
but,
Baron Cohen is a lucky man.
oh my God. She must like big Jewish penis. I don't know.
And if you've seen Bruno, you know.
We know the penis is huge. So, and then I saw her in Hot Rod, And
You like that movie,
I love
though,
that
yeah.
movie. I know nobody else in the world does, but it's just really funny. And she looks incredibly good in that movie.
She looks incredibly good no matter what she does.
No matter what. And there was, oh crap, I just looked up her other movies and now I forgot which other one she was in. But they're really, can you think of any off the top of your head?
I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, I'm not familiar. Like I said, I'm not familiar with her acting.
Okay.
With her acting chops.
Either way, she was in a lot of movies that did not do so well.
I saw Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Theirs it was, and that's
only
the one that
because
needed
my wife wanted to see it. I didn't care for that movie too much.
We watched it at your house, and it was terrible. But
Yeah, it was a
I could
horrible
stand
movie.
watching her the entire movie, which was
We put it on
awesome.
mute. Adam
And
would watch
yeah,
the,
and
Adam would watch
again,
the shit out of
her
that movie.
character in that movie, I want more than anything, except for her character in Wedding Crashers.
She's gonna put you in bankruptcy if you wanted that character, dude.
Well, she learned her lesson by the end, I think. I don't know.
She's a
She probably
hoarder.
did. She was. Okay, so I don't want to marry her. I just wanted her character.
You just want to snuggle with her and pet her mane.
And pet her mane.
Similar
And
to
I
how
can,
you would with Conan.
I can imagine a lot of things about her that I probably shouldn't talk about.
Inappropriate, because your wife is going to
Inappropriate.
listen to
Bleep,
this.
bloop, bloop.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm
Oh.
so glad. I was really bummed when last week's episode didn't air, that we thought this would get lost forever.
It really, it makes me able to manage my daily life sometimes. Just to think about these women
And this is
and men.
And this of course would be a good shout out to your wife, of course, because no matter
My
how
favorite
many,
redhead of all
yeah,
time.
she I think she trumps all of them.
Oh
right?
yeah, she's number -1. Wait,
No, it's no question.
she's
No
number
question.
0. That doesn't sound right
This
at
is
all.
a good this is a good tribute to your wife, who is of course a redhead,
She is a redhead.
and she's the one who opened you.
Like I said,
opened your
she
eyes.
looked like young Lindsay Lohan
There you
there for a
go.
while. Yeah, and I still kind of think she does on some levels.
So hopefully this episode airs. 'Cause
Hopefully we
seem
don't
to
lose
have
this one.
Yeah, we seem to have a problem with episode 3s.
Revenge of the Sith. Wait.
Revenge of the shit. The
The
all
shit.
anal final chapter. Thank you so much, Adam, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Haley Williams from Paramore. Is she a redhead?
Well, she's another one I wasn't sure was a real one.
I think she's a box redhead.
I think I would love
I
to
think I
see
read-
her
I
box
think-
to find out if it's a red box or not.
No, you can look at her. You can look at her eyebrows. Yeah, eyebrows.
She's too busy banging her band members all the time.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't know. I don't really follow Paramore too
You've
much,
seen
but I
her-
do
you've
think
seen
she's
her leaked photo,
attractive.
right?
Yeah, you sent it to me. I had it on my phone for a long time. I would look at it sometimes, and then I got a new phone. So it's
I think
gone.
I read something where she said that she doesn't know what her real.
Oh yeah, that's another reason why I didn't know.
Bullshit.
Does she? Yeah,
That's bullshit.
I can't.
Quit
pick too
bullshitting
many-
people, Haley Williams. You know
Yeah.
you're a redhead.
Let's just
admit
see
it.
the box and find out.
By box, you mean eyebrows.
Right. For the G-rated audience out there,
All right. Well, that was our
I
on
would like
the plate
to
today.
paramount her, if you know what I mean.
No. I want more of that.
Yes.
So we're gonna go to the end of we're gonna go to the end of our episode right now, and we're gonna sound off. Bing, bing, bing. All right, so sounding off the end of this week's episode. Thank you guys for listening. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and invite you guys, since by the time you're listening to this, and by the time episode 4 comes out, I'd have been a man and watched The Dark Knight Rises,
He's finally a man.
the epic conclusion to Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, and I think there's gonna be no question that it's gonna be awesome. So one thing that's
It's going to make a lot of money.
it's
I don't
gonna
know
make a
if it's
lot of
gonna
money.
be awesome.
You shut your mouth.
I'm sorry.
You shut your mouth, Adam. No one wants your opinion on Batman.
I love Batman with Jack Nicholson.
Ew. Well, anyway, I some of you guys may be aware, but I write a blog. Maybe you guys don't read it. I don't give a shit if you do, but I wrote
He puts a lot of heart and soul into it.
I do, and I work really hard on each post that I did. Most recently, I wrote a really long review and analysis, which Adam didn't have the heart to read all the way because he's a terrible friend.
No, I don't. I didn't have enough time at work that day.
No, you're just a terrible friend. But I wrote.
It was well written.
Thank you.
There was no typos, and it was easy to follow.
Yeah, it took me a really long time to actually write that review, but I mean, I worked really hard on it. So I'm gonna put the link below in the YouTube description. So hopefully you guys read it. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, it's going to be no surprise that I love the movie. So, I mean, this is more of an analysis of all the subtext and the themes surrounding the movie. And it's just to prepare you guys, if you guys are interested in The Dark Knight Rises, if you're excited as I am. So thank you guys so much. If you do read it, and I invite you to share it with your friends, just as you're sharing with this episode, please. Adam, do you have a sound off this week?
I do have a sound off. I do.
All right, sweet. Please.
Okay. Generation Y. And that's Y spelled W-H-Y.
Aw, with a question mark.
Now, being a 31-year-old male, I was born right on the cusp edge of Generation X and Generation Y, so I don't really know which one I fall into so much.
You're just an awesome guy.
I'll just go with that.
Yeah.
But I was doing some research, and I found out that more of this generation under 30, 26 and under roughly, do not have...
Do I fall into that? Cause
you do. You do. You are definitely Generation Y.
So
I do the cutoff...
Do I fall in the stereotype, you think?
Generation Y, I do not think you fall into it, except for your 80% hipster
okay.
stuff.
Well, what is the Generation Y?
Generation
For people
Y
who don't know.
is probably anybody born... Like, there's a gray area where I am, because like, if you were born in the 70s, I say you're Generation X.
Okay.
If you were born in 1984 or after, I say you're Generation Y.
So people who grew up on 90s culture.
Yeah. So like I'm not full into,
80s culture.
80s. I know more about the 80s than Mike does.
Right.
But I know more about the 90s than Mike does.
Yeah, I mean, like I was 3 in 1989. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I fall into that, but a great more of them are refusing to get driver's licenses.
That's too mainstream, man.
And
fucking hipsters.
I've run into a lot of people who are under 25 who don't have driver's licenses just in my daily practices. And,
because like Generation Y has this kind of like apathy, stereotype to them, right? Don't they?
Well, they always said that about Generation X being more
Generation
apathetic.
X. Yeah, well, Generation X is kind of like, fuck authority, and they're kind of like, I don't want to say punk mentality, but I want to say punk mentality.
A little Sex Pistols inspired,
yeah.
and a little bit of grunge inspired.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was just like a wannabe version of punk rock music mixed with heavy metal.
Yeah.
So
terrible lyrics too. Don't forget terrible lyrics.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised that, because for me, turning 16 was like, finally I can get a driver's license. That was my goal of childhood.
I couldn't wait.
I was like, I'm going to be 16. I'm going to buy myself a Ferrari, a 1996 Ferrari, because I'm going to get that for my 16th birthday. And when I turned 16, there was no car, and I didn't get my 1990 Honda Civic until the following year.
Yeah, my first car was a 1987 Ford Thunderbird, and I fucking loved it.
Woohoo!
And I didn't complain, even though it was in bad shape. I just loved the fact that I was mobile.
And I liked it.
I mean, Generation Y has this kind of stereotype of like not caring about things older than them, right? I mean, like they don't. It's
the very wired generation. I mean,
yeah,
like you're more into video games than I'm into video games,
yeah,
and you know more about technology than I do. Not to say that people born in my year don't know about technology,
yeah,
but I kind of fall back on that. Like younger kids know about technology more than me, so. But that's just because I'm old, I think.
You're an old man, dude.
But the article I found that I entitled myself, "I Can't Drive Even Though I'm 25."
Oh, nice.
So it's this person here, Shoshana Guarin Sherman. To her, driving seemed like a hassle. Her quote was, "Part of it was laziness," the 22-year-old Minneapolis resident recalled. "I didn't really want to put in an effort to learn how to drive. I knew how to ride buses, so it was not necessary. And the other thing was, it was just scary, the idea of being in charge of a vehicle that potentially could kill me or other people." Now, okay, when we were growing up, did we ever think that...
Well, I thought
I don't
want
to get
briefly.
A license. Yeah,
I mean, I know being in a car is dangerous. I mean, being outside is dangerous.
Exactly.
It doesn't prevent me from going outside.
I never worried about possibly killing somebody. Like,
well,
as I was growing up.
Would you think, would you say that, in our first world problem thing, would driving be a necessary skill for people to learn, regardless of whether or not you choose to buy a car or not?
I think it's something that you should get but then decide later.
Yeah, I mean,
if
everyone
you want to keep on driving.
Everyone should learn how to drive.
Yes, but at the same time,
It's
they're
not
talking
that
about
hard.
these kids growing up like in recession times, and
What does
and
that have
looking
to do
at
with
giant
getting
student loan payments.
What does that have to do with getting a license?
I don't know. It says in her reluctance to drive on her own, she's typical of a certain segment of Generation Y, the coveted marketing demographic, encompassing about 80 million U.S. residents between the ages of 16 and 34, which technically I guess I fall into.
I guess so.
The definition of Generation Y keeps on changing.
As
From
the older,
2001,
the older you get.
Yeah. From 2001 to 2009, the average annual number of vehicles miles traveled by people ages 16 to 24 dropped 23%. From 10,300 to 7,900. The survey found Generation Y-ers, also known as millennials, tend to ride bicycles.
It's a stupid name.
Ride bicycles, take public transit, and rely on virtual media. I don't know how you rely on virtual media to transport yourself.
Well, you turn on your computer. The mall, please.
Beam me up, Scotty. Is that where we're at now? Stupid. So more than a quarter of millennials, 26%, lacked a driver's license in 2010, up 5 percentage points from 2000.
If you live in a first world country, first world industrialized country, I think you should just learn how to drive.
It's important.
You should get
it's
your
part,
license. Yeah.
I mean, unless
You
you
never
live in
know-
New York, maybe. I don't.
Even in New York, I mean, you never know when, like, let's say your buddy is drunk or something, you need to drive him home.
Now, all of the millennials that I'm talking to that don't have a license, they really want to like have girlfriends, and they know that girls.
That's a
very important thing.
Yeah,
for a young man.
That was a big motivation for me for me
Exactly.
getting a license.
It's like,
ooh, if I had a car, it would be easier for me to have a girlfriend.
Exactly. And girls don't want to ride on your bike or take the bus when you want to go out to dinner with them.
It's something that's charming, taking the bus somewhere.
Now, this is
Whatever.
why maybe the baby making rate is going to go down with Generation Yers. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Millennials, because they're too busy virtually transporting themselves, virtually sexting themselves.
I need to go to my virtual Starbucks.
Looking at pictures of redheads like I do.
Like you do, yeah.
So, let's see. The Michigan researchers who did this study offered few reasons why some young drivers hesitate to get behind the wheel. The high cost of owning, fueling and maintaining a car, and the convenience of electronic communication. Again, I don't know where that comes in.
What does that have to do
It's
with
like,
being a license?
Yo, bro, let's get on the bus. I'll text you the bus schedule later.
Hey, man, I was going to totally drive to your house and tell you something, but since I don't have a license, let me just text it to you through my virtual device.
The group suggested a related cause: computer and smartphone applications that make taking public transportation easier with minute-by-minute tracking of buses and trains.
Oh, is that what
simple
they're talking about?
online maps and travel directions.
Oh, well, that's what they're talking about.
I found that interesting about subways is that they could count down the minutes until the train actually showed up when I was
cool.
in New York. And it was like, well, this is very convenient because
Yeah.
you know it's going to be 6 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever. So, but still, are you going out on dates with chicks taking a subway? Are you going out with them
in
on your bike on a bus?
city like New York, I mean, like, everything is kind of walking.
Yeah,
cab
I mean
distance.
that's one thing when you're in New York and you're like walking your dog at 10 o'clock at night in
Yeah.
the middle of the city. But in the rest of the world, and apparently in Michigan where this took place,
Yeah, what's there to do in Michigan? Just get your license. Go
yeah,
on.
and immigrate to Canada because you're unemployed. You already know that.
So, come on, Generation Y. Stop being so apathetic all the time. Get a license.
I know. And
Even if
quit-
you don't want a car, just get a license.
and quit
It's a
blaming the
necessary
fact that you
skill.
don't have any money. It's important.
I mean, yeah, how much does it cost to get a license?
About $20, maybe.
You
less.
got
I have
to
no idea.
in California at least.
But you got to remember,
need to
these
pay
are
for
also the people who have relied on electronic communication, email. They don't know what it feels like to go down to the DMV and be forced to stand in the line, take a test surrounded by thousands of other people, and actually pass that test.
That was a fun time.
Oh my God, it's terrible. But, these are people who are just like, well, why can't I just take it at home in my computer room by myself and then masturbate later? Afterwards.
Right after I masturbate,
Right
yeah.
afterwards because I'm so excited.
After I masturbate, I'm calm, I'm relaxed.
Well, I was saying masturbate after the test because you're rewarding yourself.
Oh yeah, reward yourself. Well, you got to do it. You have to do a pre-test, a pre-ejaculatory
and
test.
post-test. It's just it clears
any
your mind.
any excuse to masturbate. I'm just saying.
And then so you're too busy not talking to people because the people that I talk to, they struggle with even calling to make a test.
Yeah.
or make an appointment for themselves.
Yeah. Come on, people.
And it's tough.
Generation Y, I think, has a... I mean, the people who fall under that stereotype.
And their
of
parents
Generation
keep
Y.
taking care of themselves because they're too busy being guilty about being Generation Xers and not wanting to take care of them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if Generation Y, the people who stereotype themselves as Generation Y, they got, I mean, they kind of push themselves into this stereotype. That doesn't make the rest of us who fall into that age group, you know.
I don't think so. If I have to be a wire, is that a good way of putting it? Wire?
It's a good,
I'm not going to fall into that. I got a license at 16 and a half.
I got a license too, so suck it.
Yeah.
I guess that means I'm not in Generation
Do it
Y
hard.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to episode 3 of The Skinny with Mike and Adam.
Did you cover your sound off already?
I did.
Your Batman thing.
That was
That's
my
right.
Batman thing.
Okay.
That you. What did you zone out on that too?
We're going to talk more about this generation sucking balls in the future.
Yeah,
I think having to do
because they do.
It's usually Twitter related.
Yeah, because they do.
The fact that you can write articles on the internet based on what other people are tweeting about, that's a problem with this world.
God, I hate the media circus nowadays. Jesus. Well, thank you guys so much
It really
again.
grinds my gears.
Well, as we always spiel every week, well, please make sure you're liking us on Facebook if you haven't already. Please share our show.
We're just going
with
to keep
your
making these whether you listen or not.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Sorry.
And the way our YouTube counts are trending nowadays, we're gonna have about a negative view count probably by episode 5.
We're gonna owe them.
We're gonna
views.
owe you guys views. So well, regardless of whether or not you guys like it, please share, help us out a little bit.
Just give us some feedback.
Give us some feedback. Comment below. Let us know anything that let us know anything that you want to talk about. Again, if you have a topic that you would like to share with us, let us know. Send us some messages.
Or if you have a band you want us to talk about.
Again, if you have a band,
or
that
you
wanna
are
talk
in
about,
a band you want to promote.
Again, yeah. If you're an artist, if you're a local artist, and you want to get some exposure out there, talk to us. We'll love to have you on the show. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well, because that's going to be our primary source of media.
Media.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I don't know if we're going to do one this week, but to keep an eye on our Do Not playlist, please listen to episode 1 of Do Not playlist, because
it was good. It was really good.
That was our
really
gift
important.
to society.
I think so.
And those of you who haven't listened to it are missing out.
More. I agree.
Adam, any last thoughts?
Keep watching the skis.
Adam, you're acting like a total potheed.
I'm trying to come up with sign-offs.
For now, let's just talk.
Insert sign-off here.
Do you hear that song?
I hear a really good song starting.
Sorry.
It might be on the list at a later date. We may talk about it.
I don't think this one's going to be on the list because this is Cookie Monster.
Oh, yes.
Covering Carly Rae Jepsen.
Doing his parody version. His Weird Al Yankovic version.
Which is way better than Carly Rae's. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. Hope to see you again next week.
Bye.
You're snack baby, but you got cookie, so share it maybe. Hey, me just met you, and this is crazy, but you got cookie, so share it baby. Coffee cake for frosting, it no fade.